Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list updates. Today's date is Monday, September 5th, 2022. So I'm actually getting to record this on Monday because for once I was off work because Labor Day. Anyway, this will have covered the week of, I believe, August 29th through September 4th of 2022. It was a reasonably productive week. I obtained 1 platinum and several other trophies, as well as my 24,000th trophy. So let's go ahead and get over to the actual trophy list. So, first and foremost, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, 98% completion on the base game. We are 1 trophy away, and it's not Personal Decorator, so let's see. I think the only trophies... Because I earned a few trophies this week, I believe. Let me just look through them. So we're still missing this one. It's what I'm going to save for last for the video. This is going to be Platinum number 650. So it's going to be coming up within probably the next couple of weeks. So that's going to be Platinum number 650. Very excited for that. It's going to be one of my rarest Platinums of all time. I believe it'll actually be my second rarest Platinum of all time behind Far Cry 2. So definitely proud about that. Right here, Personal Decorator. This is, of course, the main trophy I went for over these past few weeks. In the end, it wasn't as horrible as I expected it to be. Realistic was frustrating at a few points. Veteran without dying or restarting a checkpoint was also frustrating at a few points because it's very easy to just get screwed over by something at the last minute in a mission. It happens a couple of times. But ultimately, I was able to get through those, and the rest of it is really just a grind, honestly. Because a lot of it's just grinding out really long challenges and camos for weapons, and that's not difficult. It just takes a really, really long time. Like, probably spent a good 20 hours of time at least farming all of the camos and weapons and attachments and challenges. So this one trophy does take a very long time, not just because of that, but because, again, you have to beat the campaign on Realistic, you have to beat every mission on Veteran without dying or restarting a checkpoint. There's a few other ones, like the Training Simulator on Realistic, that's pretty obnoxious. But overall, I mean, it could have been worse. It wasn't quite as bad as I expected it to be. I also knocked out this trophy for killing 3 Talons with a single mid-air grenade detonation. It wasn't that I wasn't going for it, I was sort of trying to get it while I was farming kills, and I eventually managed to get lucky during, I think the mission Life is where I got it, because there are several times where big groups of Talons are gonna appear during that mission. And I found the best way for farming kills. There's 2 places you can do it. You can either farm on the mission where you use, like, the pile driver looking thing to launch explosive spikes into the ground. You can do it on that mission because the enemies respawn infinitely. Or you can do it on the mission Life, the final mission of the game, because there are several places in the beginning before you enter the Coalescence headquarters where the robots pretty much respawn infinitely. And they respawn very, very quickly. So, like, if you kill one while they're in their little spinning pod to appear in the world, then they will quickly spin around and spawn another one. And that was what tended to be the fastest way to farm kills, because you could easily farm, 50 kills a minute with that method if you have the right weapon for it. Well, maybe not 50, but at least over 30 kills a minute with that method. So it could have been a lot worse than it was. It was still pretty tough, but there are worse things in the world. This one I actually also got while farming for everything else on that final mission of the game. I was able to stun 5 enemies, at least with, I want to say it's the slam attack, the Marshall Core slam attack. And I believe that's what I did this one with. So I just, like, slammed a group of, like, 5 or 6 robots and then finished them all off. So I guess it wasn't too difficult. And then there's just the rest of the trophies here. Obviously, I haven't really gone back for the zombies yet. I'm going to go ahead and start looking for groups soon, though, because I mainly need to focus on finishing off Destroy All Humans 2. That's my main priority right now. But as soon as that is done, I can dedicate all my time to finishing off all of these zombies trophies from Black Ops 3's DLCs. And we will have another Call of Duty game done. It'll be the next to last Call of Duty game currently on my list, behind Call of Duty Classic, which will eventually get done someday. And then, along with those, I mean, Cold War, people tell me, like Ghost and the rest of the boosting group have told me, don't play this one. Black Ops 4 would only go on there if Blackout Battle Royale ever became 100% boostable, and then I would at least, give it a consideration. And then, let's see, the PS3 version of Advanced Warfare, that one's never going to happen ever. PS3 version of Black Ops 3, I don't see that one happening ever either. Just a broken game that takes way too long. Vanguard for the PS5 probably will happen at some point, because I can auto-pop the multiplayer trophies, so that at least saves me like 20 hours of gameplay. And the Zombies trophies are easy, but I just need to look into exactly how to get them, because people have said it's buggy if you do the PS5 version after. So hopefully that's not too big of an issue. And then just the campaign stuff with the most difficult 2 trophies are campaign trophies. They're mission specific, so not looking forward to doing those. But I probably will do that version of Vanguard. And then, of course, Modern Warfare 2 when it comes out. Also, I read something that it is still confirmed that Modern Warfare 3 Campaign Remastered exists, and that it is, completely done, and they're just keeping it in the vault to release it. I feel like if that's true, it's probably going to release in 2023, because there's not supposed to be a new Call of Duty game in 2023, so I feel like that would make the most sense for them to release it then. Next up, Round Out by Palgi. I went ahead and did a Platinum Trophy game because I haven't done one in a while, and this was on the PS4. I actually played it on the PS4, and this is a pretty typical Palgi game. It's very quick and easy. It took me about an hour and 15 minutes to get through, or an hour and 16 minutes, but you could probably do it a little bit faster. So basically with this game, you have like a wheel of 8 letters, and you have to pick the letters in specific orders to create words in a series of almost crossword-looking puzzles, but it's not really a crossword puzzle because sometimes the letters intersect, but it's basically just creating words from a set of up to 8 letters. So you have to solve one puzzle, and you have to solve a puzzle with a minimum of 3-letter words, 4-letter words, and 5-letter words, as well as an 8-letter word, which is going to be done in your very first puzzle, because every single puzzle has an 8-letter word. So nothing too difficult there. You just have to solve, I believe it is I want to say maybe it's the first, I don't even think it's the first 50 puzzles. I think it's maybe like the first 30 puzzles you have to solve for this trophy, but we'll get back to that in a minute. So you have to find 5 bonus words in a single puzzle. If you just look up a guide for 5 words that you can find on any given puzzle, you can knock this one out very easily. You have to try an answer that isn't a word and try it twice for 2 more quick, easy trophies. You have to use a hint as well as solve any puzzle without using a hint, which should be very easy as long as you follow a guide. PowerPix has one of all of the solutions. You have to solve a puzzle without entering any invalid words. This is not difficult, just the only issue is you might accidentally, your thumb or whatever you're using for the control stick might slip and you might accidentally input the wrong letter. That's really the only risk for that one, but you should get it naturally, especially if you're following a guide. As usual, you have to pick an inappropriate word on any puzzle, and you get your typical inappropriate word trophy. It's a running kind of joke within the series. And by the way, this is the North American PS4 version, and I don't think that this game has a PS5 or Vita version, so it's one of the only ones that only has, one console stack, which is a little bit unusual. I mean, I'm sure it has like a European and a Asian stack like many of the other ones do, but yeah, it doesn't seem to have a Vita or PS5 stack as far as I'm aware. So you can only do this one once if you're only going with, one region. You have to place 500 words into grids. That's the one where, like I said, I think you have to solve something like 30 puzzles to get enough words for this. Actually, you know what? I don't even think it's 30. I think it's like 20. I think it's no more than 20 words. So I think you only have to solve less than 20 puzzles. So that's actually pretty nice. So just solve like the first 20 puzzles and you'll get all of the other pretty much miscellaneous trophies along the way, though you also do have to do a bunch of specific words and specific puzzles, and these are going to require you to branch out and go to later puzzles to plug them in. So you have to place the words 1, Fee, Sell, Dan, Joy, B, Ray, All, Yip. So you have to place those 9 words into specific puzzles, and they only fit into like one puzzle each, so you're going to have to probably look at a guide for that one unless you really want to do, every single puzzle in the game or something. And then finally, you have to start a puzzle and resume it. So just solve like one word, then X out, back to the menu, and restart or just resume the puzzle where you left off at. And then spend a minute considering a solution. So just wait for a full minute without touching any buttons, and you will get this trophy. So yeah, nothing difficult about this game. I mean, it's a Palgi game. I don't mind the Palgi games. They are far better than many of the other quick, easy platinum trophies that are out there because they actually do at least require some time and effort. And I mean, I'm sure that they take a lot more time and effort to produce as well as a series of games. And finally, the main focus of this past week, well, really this past weekend, has been Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. I am loving this game so far, but I do have a few very legitimate complaints. The first one is that the game crashes a lot. It's crashed on me 3 times so far, one on each stream I've done for the game, which is really not good given I've only been playing for really gameplay-wise about 10 and a half to 11 hours, whereas I've also spent a couple hours in the menus collecting data and information needed for the trophy guide that I'm writing. But I will say that this is probably going to be the easiest Destroy All Humans game out there, purely because the game has difficulty options for some reason, but you can play on the easiest one. I'm currently playing on the hardest one, and it's still really not that difficult. It was a little tricky at first when you don't have a lot of health, but once you get some upgrades and everything, it really hasn't been that bad. We're most of the way through Takashima story-wise, so we are definitely making progress in that sense. Plus, the Disintegrator Ray is still really powerful. Some of the other weapons are much stronger, such as the Dislocator. PK is ridiculously overpowered in this version of the game. It can kill humans in a single throw with no effort or cooldown. Not to mention you can throw like 2 to 3 objects into a tank and the tank blows up, even if it's just a human or even not an explosive item. So they definitely made the game easier overall. So if you want an experience closer to the original game, then I would definitely recommend playing on one of the higher difficulties. It's going to be more similar to the original experience. But as for the progress we've made so far, you have to upgrade both Crypto and the Saucer in the Poxmart. That's very simple. Just use Furatech cells to upgrade. Use a Furatech reactor. These are a new type of item that you get after completing some of the missions in the game, and they allow you to purchase the capstone upgrades at the end of every upgrade tree for each weapon and ability. So that's how those work. Just purchase any one of those and you're good to go. Revisit a mission from the Holopox deck. You're going to have to do this for a later trophy anyway. This one's basically unmissable. Just mash the square button until, while doing an extract, a body snatch, a transmog, or a health drain, and that's all you have to do. It's super, super easy. You have to use the Saucer's weapons to scare human cattle out of their hidden hives. This one I'm going to have to look up because I don't actually know where these are, because the maps are completely and utterly redesigned. They look nothing like the original maps, or I mean, they look very loosely like the original maps. And I love the new designs, by the way. They look great. They look beautiful. The environments are so much better. There's way more in them, so it feels like it's almost a rebuilt game at times. But I will say that I don't know where these are going to be at because they're probably pretty well hidden. And there's more areas to explore, or more parts of each map to explore. 3 perfectly timed anal probes. I don't fully understand how the anal probe works in this game because sometimes it seems like you'll hit the target, but it really won't disinfect them properly, or it won't do that much damage. So I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong with it, but this one should come fairly naturally when you're using the anal probe. This one's also very easy. This was actually my 24,000th total trophy. Just line up 3 humans with the Dislocator and send them flying from a single hit, so it'll hit 1 human and they'll bowl into a couple other humans and you get this trophy. For this one, you just have to change Crypto's look in the pause menu, super easy. Same with this one, just look through the Furonigami collection at any time, nothing difficult about that at all. You have to outrun Blisk Spores with the skate ability. I recommend doing this in the mission in Hyde Park, which is like the 7th or 8th story mission in the game. In that mission, you can run away from Spores for the first time. It's pretty easy. Just as soon as you see him spawn, just start using your hoverboard, your skate ability to get away from him, and you shouldn't have any problems. 5 story-related trophies there, all unmissable for invading each area. Then we have more story-related trophies through here. This is a side mission trophy. This is a story trophy. This is a side mission trophy, and this is for beating the final boss. Demolish a public toilet on each map, so that's another basically new collectible type that I'm sure I could figure this one out because I don't think this would be that hard to figure out, but I mean, I don't know exactly where they are and it seems to be fairly rare. These are for finishing all of the Arc Voodoo quests, of which there are about 15 or so in the game, because they actually moved one of the Arc Voodoo quests into being a story mission in this game for some reason. I don't know why they did that. This is for finishing that really obnoxious tower defense mission in Bay City, where you have to, like, defend the Coit Tower for a few minutes. It's actually a lot easier in this version, though, because the tanks don't get as close, and the tower seems to have way more health. And the saucer is also really, really powerful in this game with its abduction beam. Even though, for some reason, both Free Love and the abduction beam are now selectable weapons from the wheel instead of abilities, which really doesn't make sense. These are area-specific trophies for throwing a cop specifically through the donut in Bay City, dropping someone from the top of Albion Bridge with PK in Albion. This one is in Takoshima. I tried to do it, but I guess it didn't work. I didn't get to the very top, so I need to look and see what I missed on that. This is also in Takoshima. This is technically a side mission specific trophy, but you can replay side missions, so that means that nothing is technically missable. You have to do this on Solaris. That shouldn't be too hard. I have a good idea of where it might actually be, if it's in the same sort of place that it was in the original version. You have to skate up a certain path on each of the 5 maps. I just haven't done any of these yet because I want to make sure the skate is fully upgraded before I do them. Complete all the odd jobs. There's 20-something of these. It's just going to come naturally while 100%ing the game, because that's what I'm doing on my streams, is 100%ing the game. You have to find all 50 alien artifacts, 10 per area. You have to find all the posters, of which I think there's maybe 20 per area for 100 total. The songs, I'm not really sure how these work, because they don't seem to be tracking in the pause menu properly, so I don't know what's going on with that. The Gene Blender upgrades are very different in this game because there's far fewer of them. There's only 15, but each one pretty much has you doing like a lot more human capturing just for each individual one. So it's a lot more humans have to be captured, but fewer total blends. And finally, you have to complete all the optional mission objectives. You do not have to do the optional mission objectives for the side missions. You only have to do this for the story missions, which is nice. And another thing that's really nice is that when you replay missions in the Holopox deck, the game actually allows you to use mutators, basically cheats that give you infinite health and ammo, which makes this super easy, though so far I've only missed maybe 2 optional objectives in story missions, and I've gone back and done them at this point. I've missed a couple in side missions as well, and I'll go do those eventually. So, yeah, loving the game so far, but there were a few definite complaints that I think are pretty legitimate. And there are issues that supposedly the game can be rather bad about game-breaking bugs. I haven't run into any yet, knocking on the wooden table in front of me. I haven't run into any yet that I'm aware of, so hopefully we can keep it that way. So, let's sync up our trophies. Level 793, 52%, 24,016 total trophies, 641 platinums, 4,047 golds, 6,401 silvers, 12,927 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. Plans pretty much for the rest of September in general are to finish Black Ops 3. The Platinum's not a problem. We're basically done with the Platinum. We still have to do all the DLCs, but I'm going to focus on that as soon as I finish Destroy All Humans. I want to stream that every night pretty much until I finish the game, with the exception of tonight, because we're doing this trophy update, and it's also the first Clemson game of the season, so I'm going to be watching that, so can't stream through that. So those are my main 2 focuses right now, and then I did decide to bump up the Uncharted 3 trophies because I think there's fewer that I can actually still get than I originally thought. So try to knock that out as well. And then, if I have time for it, GTA 5 and The Division. So there's your bingo card mark for today, or your shot if you're doing it that way. Anyway, those are the 5 games currently planned for this month, but there's no way I'm going to get them all done during this month. October, currently The Division 2 and Dead Island Riptide. November, I think, is when I'm going to maybe try to touch on Conan Exiles and Outer Worlds. December and beyond, COD Classic and Shadow of the Colossus, as well as other random games that I do want to start at some point. maybe I'll just go ahead and start them all like early on in the new year, because none of the other ones I want to start have any sort of online, so I can pretty much do them whenever. So Black Ops 3 is going to be platinum number 650. The original 650 is going to get pushed back to 666, even though I have unfortunately been informed that there is no tracker for 666 on PSN Profile, so I'll just have to brag about it, say that it's there for that reason. Or if I was really crazy, I could hold it off to 700 and do what people have been saying or joking around with, like doing Spectre Woods or something for 666. I'm not going to do that, though. I really want to knock this one out because it's been postponed several times at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure it's been postponed over 100 platinums at this point. So, eventually. So that's the current plans. However, I will say that Fallout 76 is going to be getting the Pit Expedition DLC in the next 2 weeks. I think it releases on like September 13th. So I assume it's going to come with trophies because it's the largest expansion that they've done for the game since the Wastelanders DLC, like the first year after the game released. So I can almost guarantee that it's going to have trophies, so I am going to have to go back and do that at some point. There's still the questions as to whether or not LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga will ever get any sort of story DLC, but honestly, I'm kind of doubtful that it ever will because it hasn't had any mention of it as far as I'm aware at this point, and the game's been out for like 5 months. Then, of course, there's Horizon Forbidden West. I'm sure it's going to get a story expansion at some point, but it's probably not until like a year after the game comes out, so that's fine. And then Minecraft will always probably continue to get a DLC every 6 months, so we at least have a couple more months until we have to deal with that again. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already. As for videos and streams, I'm just going to be streaming Destroy All Humans 2 every night from Tuesday through Friday. Unless something else comes up, I'm just planning to finish those games off, or I'm just planning to stream that game through to completion. There will probably not be a stream this coming Saturday because, again, college football season has started up. That's the first Clemson home game for the season, so I'll be watching that, or I'll be at that game and I won't have a voice left after the game. So, yeah, it's just going to be Destroy All Humans streams until we can get through the game. I think 4 more streams will be enough, because Tunguska has no Argvoodle cult missions, Solaris has only 1 side mission, so we should be able to knock it out within another 4 streams without too many problems, maybe even quicker than that. And then once I get that done, I'll just grab a few easy platinums, and then we'll finish off Black Ops 3's platinum, and then I can start working on its DLC, and I'm sure I'll probably stream some of Fallout 76 when that DLC releases, because I should have time then to do it. So, yep, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys throughout this coming week for lots of Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobing Edition.